I was about 13 the first time I thought I was dying. I woke up in the middle of the night, my arms were numb, my eyes were blacked out, and I was in a panic. It's about this age here in this photograph. No one could help me. My parents had no idea what was happening, but the recurring chronic nocturnal panic attacks had begun. I went to my primary care doctor, to a psychiatrist, to a therapist, another primary care doctor, to a psychiatrist, and started my journey with the healthcare doom spiral. For 20 years, I was bumping around the US and UK healthcare system looking for an answer, because waking up in the middle of the night, feeling like you're dying at least once a week was just not an acceptable answer to me. Everyone told me the same thing. Take SSRIs or learn to live with it, and they had no other answers for me. I knew that that was not good enough, because after a month on SSRIs at 14, I told my parents, 1, I'm never taking these medications again, and 2, I never want to see any of those doctors again. Until began my 20-year journey of owning my story. Along the way, and along my life's path, I had fractured. And the fracture started when I was 5. We moved out of Los Angeles and back to Iran, where my family is from. And would be remiss not to mention the ongoing war that actually started after I sent these slides to the center. We left our community to go back and be part of what we thought would be a chapter of reform in our country. That reform never happened, and we came back to the US. But during that time is when my nightmares started, that eventually then escalated into panic attacks later in my life. My father at this age told me to focus on things that no one could ever take away from me. And so I knew there was something about my education and my personal story that were fundamental in my healing process. And it was getting to know this little girl again in my 20s that I began to really heal. It took me 20 years to recover from these panic attacks. It was lonely and defeating. I had no idea if I'd ever get better. I had no idea what would work and how to put all these different pieces together. I had to pay out of pocket. There were times I couldn't afford the care I needed. And I tried things that were actually pretty damaging at times because I was desperate to recover. After 20 years, I finally put together my own integrative care team. I didn't know that I was designing an integrative model for myself, but these were the earth angels that helped me fully recover. I worked, and I still work with some of these practitioners, an emotional resilience coach, a bodywork practitioner, an integrative psychiatrist, a wolfer, accelerated resolution therapist, and an incredible psychosomatic acupuncturist. And these were the individuals that helped me to reconnect with my story and to pull all these pieces back together and to start to feel the emotions that I couldn't feel as a little 5-year-old girl. At 33, 4 years ago, I finally quit having panic attacks. And it is that journey that has informed this core belief that everyone deserves access to integrative medicine. At 33, I was also at a crossroads. Do I start another company? Do I work for someone else? My panic attacks had finally healed, and I was so afraid of starting another company and not my nervous system not being ready. It was around that time that I started meeting folks in the integrative medicine community through my volunteering and fundraising for the Center for Mind Body Medicine. That volunteer work to support psychological trauma for Iranians during the Women Like Freedom movement brought me to your very own Dr. Rocky Crocker. Rocky also shares the belief that every single person deserves access to integrative medicine. And a 45-minute introductory call turned into a multi-hour situation where we knew that there was some connection and something there. When we started to discuss the problem, we realized that patients want this kind of care, and practitioners would love to be the providers of this type of care. They're healers, and they went into medicine to help people heal. But there was no system that actually made it easy for practitioners to build writing practices and for patients to build the type of care team they needed for their conditions. So together, we started having conversations with practitioners, and we heard things like, we've always worked where people who manage the business are not aligned to our values. We are healers, we want to help people. Nurse practitioner in New Jersey. You need to be educated on how to start a practice. We have integrated medicine knowledge and never use it. So many people are stuck in a system where they just can't use it. I know my patients deserve better care, but I don't know how to build the practice to make that happen. Physician, New Jersey. My calling is to be a healer, not an administrator. Physician, New York. I know I'm healing people, but it's all in an Excel spreadsheet. Physician, Florida. Sitting with all these quotes and having talked to tons of patients over the years and realizing that everybody has a story in their family similar to my story, we started to think through how can we actually respond to what we're hearing and what were the themes that were coming up. One, starting a practice is very hard. Running a practice is a burden. Practitioners would love to have successful, accessible practices, but they do not want to deal with insurance. I know. And as a patient, that is one of the big roadblocks. Every time you find a great practitioner, you're excited because you've had all these great referrals, and then you're deflated because you can't afford to pay for it. Integrated practitioners, know that they're healing people and want the evidence to back their practices. And referrals don't work with complementary practitioners because everyone's on a different EHR, and after you've sent a referral, as a practitioner, you have no idea if the patient went to see that person, how that session went, and where they are in their care journey. The best you hope for is they come back to see you again and tell you it was great. So sitting with all of this, sitting with my own personal experience, and really thinking through, was this suffering all for nothing, or did I happen to become an entrepreneur, and did I happen to build all these skills, and then just happen to go through all this suffering so that I would deeply and intimately understand this problem that I am solving. And so together with Rocky, we have built an all-in-one solution for practitioners to start, launch, and grow their practice. And our intention is to help every practitioner build the practice of their dreams and to remind people why they went into medicine to begin with. We are here with our team who are spread across the room. We'll be at the conference the next couple of days. And we'd love to meet with you and just get to know you. And we also have some folks in the room who worked with us. If you could put your arm up, please. Some of the amazing community. So if you have any questions about who we are, what we do, and the values that ground what we're building, also feel free to chat with them. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Francis and Dr.